Hey Pretty Girl Club, I wanted to make a video about why I feel it's okay to call your skin tone by whatever nickname you want to. I've noticed that in the black community in particular, they have generalized categories for skin tone, like when they're making YouTube videos or, talking about things like colorism, they will say light skinned or dark skin. Occasionally I hear people use the term brown skin. But have you ever noticed how if you are not dark skinned, you're not allowed to call your own skin tone by a nickname. You're not allowed to bestow the quote unquote light skin title on yourself. You're not allowed to bestow the title of having cinnamon skin tone, brown sugar skin tone, or golden, or whatever nickname you call yourself. You're not allowed to do that. Have you ever noticed that? And then let's say you have a butter pecan skin tone and you call yourself butter pecan because that's actually your skin tone. Like that's the name of your foundation shade, that's the name of your concealer shade. Let's say you call yourself butter pecan, then suddenly people want to get mad and say, well, why do you care? Why are you so obsessed with skin tone? Why are you making your skin tone your personality? Have you ever noticed that if you have a darker skin tone and you call yourself chocolate, nobody cares? In fact, people will encourage you and they'll say, yeah, you have such pretty chocolate skin. If you call yourself ebony colored, if you call yourself coffee colored, if you call your skin tone mocha, people will rally behind you and they don't care. They're like, yeah, that's fine. They don't say, oh my God, why are you making your skin tone your personality? Nobody cares about your mocha skin tone. Nobody cares about your dark skin tone. Nobody cares that you're dark skin. Why don't we say that? But then people say that about light skinned people. They'll say, nobody cares if you're light skinned. Nobody cares that you have a golden skin tone. You're making it your whole personality. And I feel like people do that because deep down inside, they feel jealous that you are proud of your skin color because that person themselves, they're not proud of their skin color. So they want you to have the same inferiority complex about your skin complexion that they have about theirs. And have you ever noticed how if you're not dark skinned, people will try to use someone lighter than you to humble you. So for example, let's say you have a lighter brown skin tone, so you're light skinned still, because in my opinion, I don't break it up into that many categories. I feel like we're all brown technically because if you look up the dictionary definitions of these colors, beige is a shade of brown, tan is a shade of brown, caramel is a shade of brown. All of those are shades of brown. So technically all of us would be light brown who are light skinned unless you literally have white skin, like you are lighter than Taylor Swift. If you're not lighter than Taylor Swift, generally speaking, you're going to have some sort of brown mixed into your skin tone. But have you ever noticed how when you are not dark skinned, people will try to say, oh, well, but you're not as light as so and so. Oh, but no, this other person over here, they're lighter than you. And then if you are actually very light skinned, like let's say you look like Doja Cat, I've had people come on this channel and say Doja Cat is not light skinned. One person said Doja Cat is not light skinned because she is biracial. So if you are mixed race, they were trying to say that mixed people are not black. And so she's not even on the skin tone scale. And then I had another person come on and say Doja Cat's not light skinned because there are other people lighter than her. There's always someone lighter than you. There's always someone darker than you. This is why I say when it comes to your own skin tone, you have a right to call your skin tone by whatever nickname you feel comfortable calling it. You don't even have to call yourself light skin or dark skin. You can call yourself butter pecan, cinnamon, mocha, brown sugar. You can call yourself whatever nickname you feel comfortable with. And people will say, why do you care so much about people calling themselves nicknames? Because calling yourself by a positive, affirming nickname, that is part of how you build your self-esteem. Think about when you have a child. Let's say your child has freckles and your child has curly red hair. You, as the parent, you're going to say, oh, look at your pretty freckles. Oh, look at your pretty red hair. Oh, look at you. Your hair's curly. Come over here, Curly Sue. You're going to say positive, endearing nicknames because that helps to build self-esteem. It helps the person to love themselves. So me calling myself by a nickname, that's not me dissing somebody who doesn't have my complexion. That is me simply loving myself. I have never in my life argued with someone over whatever skin tone they call themselves. I don't care if people call themselves caramel. I don't care if people call themselves chocolate, cinnamon. I have never said, you're not cinnamon. You're too dark to be cinnamon. You're chocolate, actually. Oh, excuse me, you're actually not that light skinned. You are dark caramel colored. I personally would never say something like that in my life because I don't care what nicknames people call themselves. And also, other people's self-esteem doesn't intimidate me. Other people's self-esteem, that doesn't make me feel triggered or angry. So this is why, as a part of the Exoticals United community, I am promoting us taking our power back. You get to decide how you want to identify yourself. You get to decide whether or not you want to embrace certain sides of yourself. All I'm saying on this channel is, hey, you have the option to embrace every side of yourself, just so you know. Like sometimes people will come on my channel and they will think, oh, she's trying to talk down on blackness or something like that. No, all I'm saying is that if you're a mixed race person who is pro-black, guess what? You know you still have the option to not deny your other family members, right? So all I'm saying is that you have a choice, you have options. If you choose to be pro-black and if you want to go on black empowerment channels, by all means, get off this channel and go back over to the black empowerment spaces. I don't have a problem with that because this channel and this community is for people who can relate to the content. This community is for MLS people, it's for mixed race people, it's for people who love MLS people. And the whole point is that you have a right to call yourself by whatever terms of endearment you choose. It's just like how with your body type, you might call yourself a pear shape, or you call yourself a Coke bottle, or you call yourself an athletic body shape. It's the same thing, in my opinion. Calling your skin tone by whatever nickname you feel accurately describes it, that's not a big deal to me. I'm not the type that's going to police others, so I feel like you shouldn't allow others to police you. And honestly, I would not even be friends with people who try to control my identity. That is very weird. That is very obsessive. It's giving extreme jealousy. It's giving extreme inferiority complex. And those types of people, in my opinion, can actually be very dangerous to be around, physically dangerous, because those are the type of people who will literally think that you are talking shit about them. If you say, oh, I love my golden skin tone, they will get upset. Let's say they are dark skinned or whatever, and they get upset by that. That person already had an inferiority complex because you saying that you love your golden skin tone, you're not trying to diss somebody who doesn't have a golden skin tone. I've been around white girls who have porcelain white skin and they will say, oh yeah, I have porcelain skin. I don't get offended and say, oh, you're against people who are tan like me. You're against people who have my skin tone. You're a colorist. I don't say that. So don't allow people to gaslight you. Also, for all of the new subscribers who have come on here, I've gained around 2,000 subscribers in the past couple of months. So for all of the people here who are new in the Exoticals United community, I encourage the people who are MLS, I encourage you to call yourself by whatever terms of endearment you see fit. I encourage you to identify yourself in whatever way you feel describes you best. So if you identify as a multiracial person, that is fine. If you identify as a biracial person or whatever, that's fine. Multi-generationally mixed. I don't identity police people here because I understand that different people view themselves differently, and that's okay. But I've noticed that if you are in a monoracial, monocultural community, they're going to have more groupthink. So they don't want you to go outside of the norm. They don't want you to say, oh, I'm mixed race. They don't want you to say that because that goes against how they all view themselves, which is as just black or whatever. So this channel is meant to give you the option and to help you to come to terms with who you really are and how you want to view yourself. This really is more so about how you view yourself because you can't control how other people view you. No matter what, you're always going to have people gaslighting you saying you're not black enough, you're not white enough, you're not light skinned enough, you're not dark skinned enough. You're always going to have those people gaslighting you. So that's fine. If people want to gaslight, you can hate from outside of the club. This is the inside of the club right here. This is our community for MLS people. This is our community for people who are mixed or people who look mixed. It's okay to acknowledge both of those things. It's okay to call your skin tone by whatever nickname you see fit. If you don't like calling yourself either light-skinned or dark-skinned, you have the option to call yourself by whatever color you feel describes you the best. One thing that I say on this channel is, what is your makeup shade? You can call yourself by whatever the nickname is on your foundation shade. Butter pecan, that was one of my makeup shade names, or tan, that's actually my most common foundation shade name. Golden, or sun-kissed, or cinnamon, brown sugar. I've even seen some foundations called chili, kind of like the color of the actual chili bean. So whatever you feel comfortable calling yourself, the point is to uplift yourself because obviously some people are not going to uplift you, especially if they cannot relate to you, especially if they assume that you think you're better than them, whether you're light skinned or dark skinned. You have the right to embrace who you are. And also, same thing with hair texture. I've noticed people policing other people's hair textures, like, oh, you're not a 3C, you're actually a 4B. And they're trying to say it as if being a 4B is like a humbling tactic. Like, oh, shut up, you're not a type 3 girl, you're a type 4 girl. You don't even have to use any of those hair texture scales anyway. Like for me personally, I have never used skin tone scales ever in my life because I always viewed myself as like a mixed race, multiracial type of person. So I never compared myself based on skin tone or like, oh, I'm slightly darker than so and then I'm slightly lighter than this other person. It wasn't until I got around a monocultural African American environment that I saw people comparing each other based on skin tone. But one thing I encourage the Exoticals to do is to change up your usernames. You can create a new account on YouTube and you can subscribe to this channel, and you guys can go faceless if you want. I've seen a lot of you guys putting cartoon avatars on your profile picture and changing up your YouTube names to reflect how you see yourself. So some of you guys have names like Caramel Queen or Butter Pecan Goddess or, stuff like that, Chocolate Princess or whatever, Chocolate Mixed Race Woman. And that is, I welcome that here because I want you guys to begin embracing all of who you are. If you don't want to embrace all of who you are, if you reject your mixed race ancestry, if you reject your non-black sides, then this is not the channel for you. So feel free to unsubscribe or comment down below so that I can ban you. Because now that we are reaching about 10K, I want this community to be full of strong, confident women who are comfortable with every side of themselves. This is not a space for women to have kind of an inferiority complex or like be insecure about who they are. This is a space where I'm trying to empower you to feel confident to at least admit to yourself, hey, actually, I'm not dark skinned. Oh, actually, I am multi-generationally mixed. That's what this channel is about. It's about self-discovery. So this content is only for those who can relate to it. If you cannot relate to my content, you're most likely going to be offended by it. So there's no point of you being here anyway. This content is for those who embrace who they are. What do you ladies think? Let me know in the comments section and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.